Hey guys, this is Anon, bringing you a preview of one of the most highly anticipated tanks we've had in a long time, the American T57 Heavy tank, sitting on top of the newest American tank line coming in Update 3.4. The T57 is the first auto-loading tank at Tier 10 for Blitz, and it plays kind of like a hybrid tank. It has some qualities of a heavy tank and some qualities of a medium, and it kind of spreads everything out in between those things. One of the first things you'll notice is this is one of the most mobile heavy tanks at Tier 10, with a speed limit of 35 kilometers an hour. That's a little bit middle of the pack, but it has the third best power to weight ratio for Tier 10 heavies, which means it will pick up to that speed really quickly. It also has best in class both traverse and turret traverse, actually with an amazing 37 turret traverse, which means it's completely uncircle of deathable. There's no medium that's going to be able to get around it. It also makes it extremely nimble around obstacles so that you can constantly use cover and get out of the way while your clip is reloading with that gun. All that mobility does come at a little bit of a price, though. It's tied with the American Heavy E5 with the lowest hit points for a heavy at Tier 10. It has fairly solid frontal hull armor at 203, which is actually really good for a heavy, although the sides are 50 and the rear is 38, so those are going to be AG magnets if you're not careful. The problem is the turret armor is really lacking at 127 in the front, 137 on the sides, and 50 in the back. That is actually the second worst turret armor in all of Tier 10, including mediums, except to the Leo 1 Tier 10 medium. So it doesn't have much armor there. The good thing is it's very heavily sloped, so it does have some troll properties. You can bounce some shots, especially when you are down low and making them shoot kind of at the top of the plates, as you can see here in this clip. The good news also is that it has that same really strong gun depression like the E5, so you can make the profile of it really small. The turret is little, it doesn't have big glaring weaknesses on the top, besides it's just overall low armor. So if you're hull down or working ridge lines, you can keep a pretty low profile with it. The main thing to look at with the T57 is this gun. It shares the same gun as the E5, but as a 3-shell autoloader. Each shell loads at 3.33 seconds, with a clip reload at 20 seconds. Otherwise, it keeps a lot of the same great attributes of that E5 gun. It has the same alpha, the same penetration across all ammo types, the same dispersion. The only thing it gives up is a little bit of aim time, with a 2.3 second aim time versus a 2-second aim time on the E5. All of that works out to the second best DPM at Tier 10 for a heavy, behind the FV215B, and giving it almost a full shot better DPM than the E5. So it's going to be very dangerous at that on the base levels. The main thing that really changes is the playstyle. Instead of having the regular rate of fire and having the long clip reload, it's all about hiding from damage, not letting yourself get shot at, poking out, and then loading 3 clips, or 3 shells for massive damage and being able to hide again. It can 2-clip all but the heaviest hit point tanks in the game, so if you can hide in between, you can really do a lot of damage and be dangerous. It seems like a pretty complete package, but there are a couple kind of disclaimers and negatives that we have to share too. Although it has really solid gun depression and it'll make it a really nice, difficult profile to shoot at, it has horrible gun elevation, so if any tank is above you, it's going to be really difficult to hit. You can't be too far below, so it's something you have to keep in mind, just because it's a little bit unique from this tank. The thing that is the biggest disappointment to me overall is the T57 you really want fantastic DPM with. And unfortunately, because it's an autoloader, it lacks the ability to load a gun rammer. The lack of that piece of equipment means that if you're going for an adjusted damage per minute, which means fully loaded with all the best equipment and provisions, it actually drops to 3rd best DPM of Tier 10 heavies, and less than 100 DPM better than tanks like the E100, IS-4, and IS-7 that have a ton more armor than the T57 does. Overall, this is a really interesting tank, and it's certainly going to change gameplay at Tier 10. the ability to deal out as much damage as a clip of this tank can do in short periods of time is definitely a game changer. However, I'm personally disappointed by the low DPM, especially the adjusted DPM numbers. I think it should be better because of what this tank is. But I'm still really looking forward to driving it around tier 10. If it fits your playstyle, I think a lot of players are going to be able to do extremely well with it. So hopefully you enjoyed this preview. As always, if you like this video, please subscribe on YouTube. I always appreciate that, and follow on Twitch. I'm sure I will be playing this tank very soon after the update drops.